Hi everyone, welcome to the Crack the Vault collab. This is hosted by Jamie over at Poetspice, and every third Friday of the month we are to pull out things that are either 6 months or more old or have never been used. So I have had this Vicky Bouton, I think is how you say it, mixed media premium collection paper pad, and these things, and 2 packs of different ephemera. This one's called Die Cut Icons and this one's called Die Cut Frames. I did use a few of them, and I have discovered I don't really like using pre-made ephemera. It just, like, the words in it don't work for me most of the time for cards and stuff. Some of it's okay, but And then the dots, I guess because they're so old, they do not stick without putting glue down. So I quickly learned that and put glue down. So anyway, September 18th definitely qualifies for 6 months or older, right? And then I had this Memory Dex die. I do not think this is 6 months old, but it might be, from By Scrapping for Less and Stacy Tiedemann. It's a Memory Dex outline, an inner piece that's stitched, and a bow that's stitched, but the bow's kind of weird. I cut one out, but I didn't use it, and I had to cut this apart so I could use different papers. Anyway, I made 3 index cards, and then I made 4 cards. I pulled out 5 sheets of the paper. This is what I have left. I have some scraps left. I had some teeny little strips and I threw them out, but I do have scraps left. So I didn't even finish 5 sheets. And how many sheets does this pad have? 36 sheets total. 3 each of, what is that? 12 designs. Yeah. So let me show you what I made. I was trying to use the paper, right? And these are the Memory Dex cards. So I had pulled out this sort of mint green with green words on it paper. And they all have, the papers all have shading. Like, I don't know if you can see it through the plastic, but it's like vintage looking, sort of. So this one, I just used 2 of the papers, the butterfly, black with green butterflies, and the green words in the background. I pulled out a kind of a ticket thing out of the frames ephemera pack. I tore it on either end. Used one of the butterflies in the pack. This is another piece of that same ticket over here. And the word hey was in one of them, and I just put glossy accents on top of that and also on the butterfly's head. And then this was actually a little scrap of ribbon that I have used before, but it is also 6 months or more old. It's from Stampin' Up, but none of the rest of this is. And that's it. I just kept them pretty simple. Then this one is Be Fearless in the Pursuit of What Sets Your Soul on Fire. And I used 2 feather ephemeras and a bird, and I bumped this up. I can't remember which pack this came out of. I think these all came out of the same ephemera pack. And I bumped the bird up as well. And then this little gemmy here kind of slid a little bit before it dried, and then this gemmy were from that pack. And this is Retired Stampin' Up Blushing Bride twine, because I thought it matched this color back here. And this is the polka dot paper and a bird paper, obviously. And the last Memory Dex I did, there was like a goldenrod or crushed curry kind of color striped paper. It wasn't glittery or anything. And then this has like a floral design all over it. And then I used one of the ephemera, yellow flowers, green leaves, and this square rectangle. Dream it, wish it, do it. And this twine, I don't even know. I had this little bag of leftover bits that I really want to use up. This is a little bit thick though. I didn't want to run it across the whole thing, so I just tucked it under the edge of this and had it go on one side. and a little dot that had like a checkerboard in it, and then 2 of the yellow gems. And that's it for the memory dex cards. I think they came out okay. I tried to do a little more layering than I usually do. Anyway, so then I went to cards. Did not use any dies for card backgrounds, if you will. I just made them. Most of them are on black paper that is from Altenews Jet Black specialty paper, 80 pound. It's a pretty nice, smooth, thick black. I like it. It actually feels thicker than the one I was previously used to, which is also, I think, supposed to be 80 pound. I'm not sure. Anyway, so I used the green word paper. I tore it all around. I used a stamp set called Ranunculus Romance, which is retired Stampin' Up. And it has like this ledger thing in it, partial. So I stamped that all over in Memento Tuxedo Black. I stamped Hello from that set on one of the pieces out of the frames ephemera. This was a leftover strip from the butterfly paper, and I tore it. And I did use Distress Oxide Cracked Pistachio and went around the edges of this piece and this piece as well. And I think even, no, I don't think I went around that one. Just these 2, that one and this one. This was a piece of ephemera. It already had Lovely stamped on it, so I wanted it to say Hello Lovely. And these are matte black dots from Stampin' Up. And then inside I just had a scrap of this, and it actually was the piece up where you tear it, and I left that tear on there because this is torn, so I thought it kind of went well with it. I didn't put any sentiment on the inside. So that's that one. Then the butterfly paper again. Okay, so this one, I was looking all over for my punch, which I couldn't find, that goes with these 2 stamp sets, Butterfly Wishes, and not that one, and Butterfly Gala. Butterfly Gala. And I was originally going to stamp and punch, but I couldn't find my punch. But I did use, on several of the cards coming up, You've Been on My Mind, or a little note, or both. And I ended up pulling out Butterfly Brilliance. I was going to stamp and use the dies, but guess what? Some of the packs, I mean, one of the stamp sets had a pack of already made pieces that I had done a long time ago. I just tuck them in there. These are some of those, and I used some on the next card too. So that's what I did. And then this oval is out of this pack from Paper Pumpkin that had like different languages on the other side. So I used that. I did go around that a little bit with the, was it the Cracked Pistachio again? Just a little bit around the edge of this to make it not quite so bright. I found, I was looking for my punch, and I instead looked over at my washi tape, and oh, I have greenish blue butterfly tape. So I just tore a piece off and stuck it down there. This was a scrap left over from cutting the paper. What I did is I cut these papers in half that I pulled out because it's the size of the paper pad is 7 by 10 inches. So I cut it at 5. Excuse me, sorry. And then because I cut it at 5, it's still wider, so I ended up with strips cut off on them. So this one, but the words, the way I cut it, the words had to go horizontally on this one. And then I had a strip left that could go vertically on the butterfly paper. So I thought the colors of these butterflies went perfectly with this card. And I kind of wish this had a little more blue in it, but oh well, it's what I had. And the backs were already cut too, and they're in black, basic black from Stampin' Up, I'm pretty sure. And then these are the matte dots again, and inside I did I stamped a little note, and you've been on my mind. And again, this is the jaggy edge, and I left it jaggy. And then I have two more. The next one is the yellow and orange paper, yellow striped, and the orange floral, which I thought was really pretty. And this was also in that pack, pre-made, some kind of glitter paper I had used, ombre, obviously. And on this one, I went around that with fossilized amber on the cinnamon strip because it was like too bright white. So I just brushed it with fossilized amber, Distress Oxide, and then these were Stampin' Up. They just retired not long ago. I don't know what they're called, these resin flowers or something, and they are in Calypso Coral and I think Daffodil Delight. So basically orange and yellow. I thought they went cute with it, and then inside just a strip of the orange paper. So that's that one. And then the last one I did was the pink polka dot paper in the background, and the bird paper on the front, and then another piece of the pink polka dot paper, and then inside is the birds. And this one I used a stamp set called Go To Greetings, and I used the larger Just a Note. And I can't measure right. I cut it too big, and then I thought I knew how much I had to take off, and I cut it too small, so I kind of have a little space over there and over here, but it's okay. These were dots out of the pack. They're more the orangey color, because I think I only had one pinkish color left from something. Oh, a memory decks, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, and then the birds are bumped up, the feathers from the ephemera, and so are the birds. And this was another scrap of the pink and white paper in the background. So I think that came out cute too. Pretty simple. And that's it. That's all I made this month. If any of you read my community post from a week or two ago, I've had a mess here for the last part of June and early part of July in particular. And so I'm on a mission to get this craft room tidied up, and sadly I started on the beading side. I should have started on the paper side, but I'm going to be working this afternoon on destashing, or getting ready to destash planner stuff out of a cart I have behind me that is piled high with other stuff too. So papers and planner stuff, and the planner stuff I'll be mostly destashing. I'll keep a little bit, but I'm not going to keep most of it, I think. So if you're interested in that, that'll be my first destash coming up either today or tomorrow over the weekend. All right, everyone, please go check out Poetspice if you haven't already, and all the other participants in the collab who will be linked down below. And yeah, go see what they've made. We have some really talented crafters in this collaboration. I'm not, but they are. Anyway, I enjoy seeing what their creations are when I have time to watch them all, because there's quite a few. All right, everyone, take care. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. Bye for now.